The True Tale of Snow White, a 1,000-word retelling. Once upon a time, in a kingdom surrounded by snowy mountains and blooming valleys, a gentle queen sat sewing beside a window framed in ebony wood. As snowflakes danced outside, she pricked her finger, and a drop of blood fell on the white windowsill. Gazing at the colors, she whispered, "I wish for a daughter with skin as white as snow, lips as red as blood, and hair as black as ebony." In time, her wish came true. She gave birth to a beautiful girl, Snow White. The baby's skin was pale as snow, her lips red, her hair dark as night. But joy turned to sorrow. The queen fell ill and passed away soon after the birth, whispering blessings of love into her daughter's ears. The king raised Snow White with tenderness, and she grew into a kind, curious child. But after years of mourning, the king remarried. His new queen was graceful and regal, but her beauty masked a cold, vain heart. Unbeknownst to all, she possessed a magic mirror that answered any question truthfully. Every day, the queen would ask, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?" And the mirror always replied, "You are, my queen." Pleased, the queen grew more obsessed with her beauty, unaware that Snow White was becoming more radiant each year, inside and out. Loved by everyone in the castle, Snow White was graceful, generous, and cheerful, with animals often gathering around her. When Snow White turned 16, everything changed. The queen asked her mirror as usual, but it replied, "You are fair, O queen, it's true, but Snow White is fairer still than you." Furious and jealous, the queen summoned a huntsman. She ordered him to take Snow White into the forest, kill her, and bring back her heart in a box. The huntsman, loyal but horrified, reluctantly obeyed. In the forest, as he raised his knife, Snow White turned and smiled. The sight broke his resolve. "Run," he whispered. "The queen wants you dead. I cannot harm you. Go, far and fast." Snow White fled deeper into the woods. Branches scratched her, roots tripped her, and her dress tore. Eventually, she collapsed in exhaustion. When she awoke, she discovered a tiny cottage tucked among the trees. Inside were 7 small chairs, 7 bowls, 7 beds. Hungry and tired, she ate a little bread, tidied up, and fell asleep across 3 beds. That night, the 7 dwarfs returned kind miners who toiled in the mountains. They were startled to find her, but listened as Snow White explained her plight. Moved by her story, they agreed to protect her. "You may stay," said Doc, their wise leader, "but promise to never open the door to strangers." Grateful, Snow White settled into life with the dwarfs cooking, cleaning, and singing as she swept. Birds chirped at the windows, deer came to visit, and laughter filled the cottage. Back at the castle, the queen again asked, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?" The mirror replied, "Snow White, who lives with the 7 dwarfs, is the fairest of them all." Enraged, the queen conjured a plan. She disguised herself as an old peddler woman using dark magic and crafted a single poisoned apple. One bite would put Snow White in a death-like sleep. Disguised, she traveled to the cottage and offered the gleaming red apple. "Just one bite, dearie," she croaked. "A special gift." Snow White, hesitant at first, was eventually tempted. The moment her teeth sank into the apple, she collapsed. The queen cackled and vanished into the woods. When the dwarfs returned, they found her lifeless on the floor. Though her skin was still warm and her face untouched by death, she would not wake. Heartbroken, the dwarfs built her a glass coffin, placed her inside with flowers all around, and kept vigil for days, then weeks. One spring morning, a young prince riding through the forest came upon the scene. He had once seen Snow White at court and never forgotten her. Overcome with sorrow, he kissed her gently. To everyone's shock, Snow White awoke. The poison spell broke, and color returned to her cheeks. The dwarfs wept with joy, and the prince stood in awe. Back at the castle, the queen stood before her mirror. "Mirror, mirror on the..." The mirror shattered. The queen's reign of vanity was over. Word of Snow White's survival reached the kingdom, and the king, returning from a distant war, was reunited with his daughter. He wept, holding her tightly. The queen's dark deeds were revealed. She tried to flee but was captured. Stripped of her power and exiled, she wandered the mountains alone, her magic and mirror lost forever. Snow White and the prince were soon married in a joyous celebration. The king ruled peacefully alongside his daughter and new son-in-law. The 7 dwarfs were given honorary titles and land, visiting often for feasts and laughter. And so, from a wish whispered on a snowy day, a tale of love, kindness, courage, and forgiveness unfolded. They lived happily ever after.